Claire Newman's turnaround on The Young and the Restless, from being Aunt Jordan's evil accomplice to super sweet long-lost daughter, always seemed a bit quick for us. The show has now circled back to Claire's more, shall we say, assertive side. Soap Central applauds Claire's portrayer, Haley Aaron, with our Performer of the Week honors for digging into her character's other side. Aaron began the week with Claire turning down Kyle's marriage proposal. It was all too quick, and felt like he was trying to make up for not being forthcoming about Audra and what went on in France. On one hand, it felt like Claire was being too judgmental. Kyle asked for forgiveness. And let's face it, millionaire heirs who are tall, dark-haired, well-built, and good-looking don't grow on trees. However, Aaron made Claire's response convincing, given her past, though our hearts broke for Kyle. Next, Claire invited Holden out for vespers at Society, where the being mean ran into Audra, and it was on. Claire proved that Audra didn't have the market on quippy one-liners on The Young and the Restless when Audra asked if her being there was a problem. "Not if you keep walking," Claire snarked. Audra was looking to blame someone for her predicament, and Claire seemed like an easy target. Before Audra even arrived, Claire announced that she was going to no longer be passive around the ambitious and aspiring cosmetics executive. Claire might not have been so antagonistic towards Audra had she not been inhaling Vespers like Abby was going to have them discontinued. The trick, many actors say, to playing drunk is to try to act not drunk. Aaron took this to heart as Claire matched Audra's snark for snark while trying to act like she was fully in control. "I almost feel sorry for you prancing around in your designer dresses." "I.e.," Claire told Audra, hastening to dig her with, "Hey, do you know how much longer you're going to be able to afford those?" Audra fired back that she was a self-made woman, something Claire couldn't relate to as a privileged Newman. Claire hauled out the heavy artillery by asking Audra about Nate. That prompted Audra to get up out of her chair and get in her enemy's face. Fortunately, Holden intervened. After Claire announced she could fight her own battles, Audra went in for the kill, recalling that she had tried to poison the Newmans at one point. Instead of shying away from her past actions, Haley, still playing that perfect blend of inebriated but not blacking out yet, slowly stood up and got in Audra's face. "Maybe you're right. Maybe I am the dangerous one. Maybe you need to watch your back?" Claire queried. Aaron chose to have her dangerous character truly stare down her opponent. It was clear by looking at Audra's face that the message was received. Claire's being tipsy made her threatening stance all the more dangerous and added to her intriguing performance. Was Claire's strength coming from being inebriated? Or did the booze help her drop the inhibitions that society forces her to live by? After threatening Audra that next time she might not be so polite, Audra quipped, "Such a lady!" Claire fired back a response, "Such a bitch!" Next, Claire stumbled into crimson lights with Holden holding her up. Whether Claire intended to or not, she dropped her purse, which highlighted her stupor. Holden gallantly picked up her item and handed it back to her. "Thank you," Claire politely replied. However, we have the suspicion, alcohol or no alcohol, Claire's not going to be so polite with Audra the next time she sees her. Holden complimented Claire on standing up for herself. "It felt pretty good," she revealed. "It was pretty good to watch, too." Bravo to Aaron for digging deep into Claire's psyche on The Young and the Restless and showing that the woman who, to an extent, went along with Jordan's schemes is still in there. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Audra Charles may become a poisoning victim. Is a new whodunit brewing with Audra at the center of the drama? Matt Cohen will make his first appearance as Detective Burrow on October 16th, so Y&R will obviously need him for a crucial investigation. Entertainment Weekly confirmed that Detective Burrow will be front and center investigating a major case featuring some of the soap's key characters. This sounds like a big story that's going to involve multiple people on canvas, so let's consider what Detective Burrow's case might look like. Audra has been offering constant reminders of Claire's past penchant for poisoning. It's a topic that's come up a suspicious number of times, so the show may be going somewhere with this. In the September 8th episode, Audra will crack a joke to Sally Spectra about Claire Newman, perhaps spiking her drink and causing her to foam at the mouth. That could be another hint about Audra becoming a poisoning victim in the not-too-distant future. Of course, we've also got other characters like Kyle Abbott, Victoria Newman, Victor Newman, Jack Abbott, Diane Jenkins Abbott, and even Holden Novak wanting Audra gone. Audra has made a ton of enemies at this point, so it won't be surprising if someone targets her with fatal results in mind. Whether they succeed in wiping her off the map or not, Audra could definitely land in grave danger. Y&R spoilers say a hospital crisis is coming up on the CBS soap, so Audra may be rushed to Memorial if she becomes a poisoning victim. Audra could end up in a life-threatening situation that leads to the police getting involved. Could Detective Burrow be in charge of investigating who poisoned Audra? Claire may find herself at the top of the suspect list thanks to her poisoner past and the threats she's been tossing around. The Young and the Restless spoilers say a mystery storyline may be in the works, so stay tuned for updates on any risky news headed Audra's way. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that 3 ghosts may haunt Genoa City, so will some familiar faces cause a stir? Let's consider some characters who might make ghostly comebacks and deliver some advice or warnings. For starters, we should consider the possibility of Cole Howard returning in spirit form. Claire Newman often wishes she could talk to her dad and get his words of wisdom, so perhaps Cole will appear to her at some point. Cole could even pop up in a dream and lend a sympathetic ear. Claire could certainly use Cole's help when it comes to dealing with all her love life drama, so Cole's comeback would feel right. Of course, another option might be if Cole returns to give Victoria Newman a nudge to move on. Victoria may find herself hesitant to let herself fall for Nate Hastings again, but maybe Cole could give her the push she needs when the time comes. Jordan's name is consistently mentioned on the show, so Y&R never lets fans forget how miserable she made Claire. More tormenting could be looming if Jordan haunts Claire in some form. Even if Claire just hallucinates or dreams Jordan's ghostly return, we could definitely imagine Jordan messing with her head. Jordan may add to Claire's misery in a whole new way if she pops up again and sends her back down a terrible path. Another contender for a ghostly comeback might be Jeremy Stark. Michelle Stafford dropped a clue on Instagram about some other surprises coming up, so fans have been speculating about more casting announcements. Stafford also shared a throwback Instagram story recently about Phyllis and Jeremy since their scenes were airing on the French version of Y&R. Maybe it was a hint about Jeremy returning, even if it's just as a ghost who haunts Phyllis. Although Phyllis killed Jeremy in self-defense, he could make a vengeful return in her nightmares or hallucinations. Phyllis could be teetering on the edge of a breakdown if Cain Ashby's project doesn't go her way, so Jeremy might appear as she's spinning out. Jeremy may not let Phyllis forget what she did to him, so that's a story option worth keeping in mind. Regardless, there's room for some ghostly returns to happen in the coming months, so we'll bring you updates on any haunting news that might be confirmed soon. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest some spirit sightings could cause chaos eventually, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Kyle Abbott may catch Claire Newman and Holden Novak kissing. Will Kyle's perfect girlfriend get knocked off her pedestal in his eyes? Y&R fans know that Kyle constantly sings Claire's praises when it comes to all the challenges she's overcome. It's true that Claire has a rough past, but Kyle admires her for conquering her issues and finding a positive path forward. Kyle is always talking about Claire's pure heart and how wonderful she is. It seems like Kyle thinks Claire can do no wrong, so he may be in for a rude awakening if she's on the verge of hurting him. The show's putting all the pieces in place for a potential betrayal. Claire is struggling to deal with Kyle's lies and how far he was willing to take things with Audra Charles, who continues to rile Claire up and make things worse. Of course, there's also the matter of Claire's growing bond with Holden and the little Vesper habit she's picked up. Claire recently got drunk for the first time, so these tipsy nights of hers could become a regular thing. This could be the perfect storm for Claire to get swept up in a close moment with Holden and share a kiss with him at some point. What if Kyle comes along at that exact moment and witnesses Claire with her lips all over another man? That would give Kyle a taste of what Claire felt when she saw Audra kissing him at Society recently. That was mostly Audra's fault since she initiated the smooch, But Kyle could have pulled away faster or dodged the kiss entirely. Now Kyle could be the one who's forced to watch Claire and Holden making out. Even if booze is involved, Kyle may fume over Claire going behind his back with Holden after the way she's acted about Audra. If Y&R wants to get really soapy, the sight of Claire kissing Holden could drive Kyle to Audra's bed. Perhaps there's some truth to Audra's claims that Kyle wants her deep down, so lust might take over if they have some anger-fueled passion coming up. On the other hand, Claire's kissing blunder might level the playing field a bit and make her more willing to forgive Kyle for his own mistakes. If Kyle can get past Claire's own betrayal, that could lead to them finally moving forward with a new chapter together. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say, Claire and Kyle's romance will come with more messes, so stick with us for updates on all the shocking news to come. Welcome to the best of the week for The Young and the Restless, where we highlight some of the week's standout moments, scenes, notables, quotables, fashion, and more. The hallmark of soaps is romance. Y&R gave us romantic scenes with both Victor and Nikki, and Billy and Sally. We loved seeing the flashbacks of Victor and Nikki dancing in their old ranch in the past, and watching that same romance between them continue into the present at their new ranch. Fans of Sally know that her road to romance has been a bumpy one, going back to her days on The Bold and the Beautiful. Since being in Genoa City, she struck out with both Nick and Adam. However, she appears to have found the love of her life in Billy Abbott. Yay! Sally's found happiness in both her personal life and her professional life. We root for Sally, and it's nice to see her in the winner's circle. Another hallmark of soaps is bitter rivalries. Remember Kay and Jill? Those two went at it for decades. Now we see one with have-not Audra Charles and heiress Claire Newman. Claire appears ready to step up her game, and she'll go after Audra however she needs to, it appears. Audra is the queen of zingers. She can reframe any situation, making her the victim and her enemies the perpetrator in a heartbeat. Audra confessing all to Nate has shown us she has a vulnerable side. It's another momentous occasion in the history of The Young and the Restless that took place in Crimson Lights. We're rooting for this have-not to come out on top. Adam, Victoria, Mull, and Nicholas are the most believable sibling trio on soaps. Always the black sheep, Adam is arguably the most like their father, Victor, when it comes to being ruthless in business. It wasn't just Adam who urged Nick to buddy up to Phyllis and use her fondness for him as a weapon to take down Cain. Vicky championed the idea too. Michael and Cain's business meeting on his train was intriguing. The attorney did not let the billionaire off the hook or give an inch. Of course, Michael was intrigued and impacted by Cain's financial offer. Michael couldn't reach Lauren on the phone to discuss the job offer Cain extended. But fortunately, Phyllis was standing nearby and picked up on enough of what her friend was saying to start probing. We're not sure this was fortunate enough for Michael, but it was great news for Y&R fans. Phyllis and Michael are two reformed baddies who have never lost their edge. They understand each other and accept each other for who they are. Phyllis made Michael a deal. She'd forgive him for representing Sharon when she was accused of killing Heather if he'd tell her what was going on with his phone call to Lauren and his job offer. Phyllis is a tad obsessed with all things Cain these days. If Michael accepts Cain's offer, we're going to get more Phyllis and Michael scenes. That's a good thing. An inebriated Claire dropped her purse, and later she let it fall off the back of her chair at Crimson Lights. Was it scripted? Directed? Or did the actress add it? No matter how it occurred, it was a nice touch and emphasized Claire's tipsy state. Kudos to Nikki for acknowledging that the ranch she and Victor are living in isn't the same house they spent many years living in. They're currently living in their third home together. This latest abode is a major upgrade from their last residence. Phyllis has at least one female pal in Amanda. She wondered where this would leave Amanda if Cain hired Michael, who's also an attorney. That's being a friend. Diane's hair is straightened out. Our review for the Y&R hair department is a simple 2 words. Thumbs up. Audra finally spoke the words to Nate we thought she'd never say. Audra, I did it. I agreed to Victor's quid pro quo. I went after Kyle so I could get what I want. Cain is keeping Victor on his toes. Or is he? Cain to Victor, I'm going to turn down your request that we partner together to take Jabot from the Abbotts. Victor: When I asked you to partner with me to blow Jabot out of the water, that wasn't a request. It was an order. Michael and Phyllis banter like no other duo. Michael to Phyllis: You haven't lost your talent for eavesdropping, Phyllis. Unless it's Diane and Phyllis. Phyllis to Diane and Jack at Society: Lovely evening. Diane: It was. Or unless it's Michael and Cain. On his train, Michael: This whole train vibe makes quite the statement. Cain: Also conveniently acts as a getaway vehicle if necessary. Michael: Are you planning your escape? Claire v. Audra at Society has been the best catfights we've seen in a while. Claire to Audra: Do you ever get tired of lying? Audra: Where's the lie, Claire? The two men in your life are obsessed with me. Kyle can't seem to quit me. And Holden? You think he stayed in town for the Vespers? It's all me. Claire: Stop acting like the world owes you something. You ended up exactly where you belong. You have no friends. You have no job. You can't get one. You can't keep one. The young and the restless. Fashion. Audra Charles dressed down a bit when she made a heartfelt plea to Nate. She wore a pink Dorothy Buchel cropped cardigan by Guess and a pink Dorothy Buchel mini sweater skirt by Guess. Nate, how could you not take her back? Nikki gifted Victor with a black leather jacket. Here's one he's worn in the past. Nikki, herself, looked smashing in the red beaded long-sleeve dress she wore during the romantic evening she planned for Victor. Check out the details on her gown here. What are the savvy billionaires wearing these days? Check out this bomber jacket worn by Cain when he encountered Lily in the park. Nikki's not the only Newman who can pull off red. Here's a look at the power outfit that Victoria wore on her first day back at work after a while. A rose print burnout blouse by White House Black Market. Her pencil skirt was by Diane von Furstenberg, The Young and the Restless. Musings, of course. Adam, Victoria, and Nicholas aren't Victor's only children. There's his daughter Abby, with Ashley too. How might Abby factor into the business dealings at Newman Enterprises? The Young and the Restless reminded us that Lauren is working on a trio of wedding gowns for Christine. Will it ever be mentioned that the two women were family via Lauren's marriage to the late Scott? Maybe Christine's nephew Scotty will come to the wedding next month. Cain has announced that he's not going to be pursuing takeovers of companies in Genoa City, but he's also hinted that maybe he will. It'd be nice if we knew for sure what Cain was up to. He can pursue business and reconcile with his family at the same time. Want more of Y&R? Be sure to check out The Scoop for spoilers, daily recaps, 2 scoops for weekly commentary, and The Young and the Restless page for Best of the Week, and more features on Soap Central. The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that Cain Ashby recently summoned Michael Baldwin to his train car in Genoa City and offered him a job. Fans may recall that when Michael stepped away from his role as Victor Newman's lawyer, there was some backlash from the mustache. Will Michael decide to swerve Cain in hopes that he can redeem himself to Victor? The Young and the Restless spoilers note that while Cain has an incredible lawyer in Amanda Sinclair, it seems that he is interested in Michael for his legal savvy, as well as his unique skills of being a fixer. Michael certainly has fixed many situations for Victor in the past, and Cain is hoping he can do the same for him. It's been noted many times that Victor was a father figure to Michael. It truly did break his heart when he needed to walk away from his job with Victor, and the fact that Newman saw this as a betrayal further crushed the lawyer. Victor has essentially pushed Michael out of his life, despite the loyalty the lawyer showed to him all these years. Could Michael see an opportunity to help Cain? Could he decide to act as a mole for Victor in the process? Doing so would certainly redeem the attorney in Victor's eyes and welcome him back into the Newman fold, eventually after Michael scores the pertinent information needed. With that said, knowing how private Cain is, Michael may need to sign an NDA, so doing anything sketchy could cost the attorney everything, from his livelihood to potential jail time. Would Michael be willing to risk it all to help the mustache? Plus, he needs to also take Lauren Fenmore's feedback into consideration, as she likely wouldn't want him working for Cain as a mole, or even on the up and up. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of September 8th, 2025. Fans can expect Mariah Copeland to make a confession. However, will it be the full truth? Meanwhile, Sally Spectra faces a moral dilemma. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with the most interesting spoiler. It happens to center around Mariah and her secret. It is stated that she will finally make a confession. However, making a confession and telling the whole truth can be two different things. So, I wonder what Mariah will admit to, and if it will give viewers some answers as well. Is Mariah a danger to her family? Or did the elderly man trigger something in her? Over with Sally, she will face a moral dilemma. Sally does have the ability to take over Abbott Communications if she starts to question Billy Abbott's decisions. The redhead is already worried about Billy. That will intensify as she shows up to an empty party with Cain Ashby delivering a bombshell. Sally might get some advice from Jack Abbott. In fact, Jack gets a cryptic message sometime this week, so that could be from Sally. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the week of September 8th, reveal that Victor Newman drops a bomb on Claire Grace Newman. While he seemed like he was defending Kyle Abbott, Victor was really making the situation worse. He hinted about that secret deal, so Claire would demand more answers from her boyfriend. Victor knows what he's doing, I'll give him that much. As for Audra Charles, she exchanges threats with Holden Novak. It sounds like the true criminal is Audra, as Holden is pretty confident he'll just go on with his life. Nick Newman warns Phyllis Summers. Later, Nick shares a secret with Sharon Newman. By Friday, Victor and Michael Baldwin settle unfinished business. Meanwhile, Cain makes a new alliance. Plus, Phyllis ends up taking control. I'm not sure if Phyllis taking control is a good or bad thing. With her, things tend to get out of control quickly, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of September 8th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Will they become more than drinking buddies? It would be nice to see Claire hang out with Tessa and Daniel more. However, she's been spending a lot of time with Holden lately, which leads us to this week's slow-burning storyline. It's obvious that these two are going to end up together on The Young and the Restless. But at what point? We're not sure. Claire and Holden have already become drinking buddies. He introduced her to Vespers. Audra wasn't surprised to learn that he pulled that line on Claire as well. Sounds like Holden is a bit of a playboy, but Claire might like being with a bad boy for a change. She knows that she has a past that's far from perfect. She tried to kill her family after being groomed most of her life by Aunt Jordan. The straight and narrow path hasn't worked well for her. Maybe Holden could bring out a different side to Claire on Y&R. Just because these two love drinking together doesn't mean they're jumping into bed together anytime soon. Claire needs someone she can trust, and Holden is that person. He allows her to be herself, regardless of her past. And she's coming to realize that he's not everything he seems as well. Right now, the only man she doesn't trust is Kyle, especially after what happened between him and Audra in Nice. Plus, this is her first relationship and first love. The last thing she needs is to rush things. Maybe she needs to spread her wings with a man who could show her the ropes, sort of speak. Also, it looks like Holden is starting to have feelings for Claire after the time they spent opening up to one another. He also looked out for her well-being and safety the night she got drunk. He remained as sober as possible while he made sure that she got plenty of coffee in her system afterward. These two are likely to have feelings for one another, which will further complicate things for her and Kyle. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of September 8-12 hint at some bombshells on the horizon, plus a flurry of casting changes. Find out who's coming and who's going in the land of Genoa City over the next 5 days below. The Young and the Restless has not slowed down when it comes to casting announcements. Last week, they announced that soap vets Tamara Braun and Roger Howarth would join the show. And this week, news hit that Lucas Adams will be debuting soon as Noah Newman, Sharon Newman's and Nick Newman's son. Days of Our Lives fans will recognize Adams, as he once played Trip Johnson on the Peacock soap. Noah was last seen in Genoa City in 2023 when he was portrayed by Rory Gibson. Noah left town with gal pal ally Nguyen Abbott and headed to Europe. Adams will debut on the Y&R at some point this fall. In addition to the Lucas Adams news, it was announced this week that former General Hospital alum and Entertainment Tonight correspondent Matt Cohen would also be joining the YNR in the weeks ahead. Cohen is set to play Detective Morrow, a new police officer entering the canvas, who will investigate a massive case that will have many prominent members of GC involved. Cohen has already started shooting scenes and will debut on the CBS soap on October 16th. Finally, Tessa Porter will take center stage this week. Fans will see her on the Tuesday, September 9th show as she interacts with her estranged wife, Mariah Copeland, as well as her friend, Daniel Romalotti. Mariah is set to make a confession that day, so will she tell Tessa the truth about what happened during her business trip? Will Tessa and Daniel further bond? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Are you pumped for the week of September 8 to 12? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. This week's video previews that Abbott Communications gets off to a rocky start, while Holden reveals a secret. September 8th to 12th will be filled with surprises in Genoa City. This week's The Young and the Restless video preview reveals the Abbott Communications launch doesn't go as planned, while another character is stunned by a revelation. Here's a sneak peek of what's ahead. Daniel's music lessons with Tessa have paid off. He's ready to showcase his new musical talent to his rock star dad. Tessa tells Daniel that his dad will love his song. Daniel gives Tessa credit for her songwriting and says she turned the lyrics and melody into something beautiful, just like she is. Tessa is stunned by Daniel's words, and he may further shock her. He's falling for Tessa, and he might be ready to confess his feelings. Claire is spending more time with her new pal Holden. The two continue to talk about their least favorite person, Audra. Claire continues to be curious about Holden's connection to Audra, and he gives insights about their history. Holden reveals that he and Audra did something in the past that wasn't legal. When Claire inquires if he was protecting Audra or himself, Holden replies that Claire's opinion of him might change if she knew the truth. So, what did Audra and Holden do? And will Claire use this as leverage in her feud with Audra? It's the moment Billy and Sally have been waiting for. It's the official launch party of their new company, Abbott Communications. The couple arrives at society, ready to celebrate, but the place is empty. As they wonder about the whereabouts of their guests, Cain enters and says he's glad they made it. Cain's cancellation of the party is no doubt another move to showcase his dominance as Genoa City's new businessman. But the question is, what does he want from Billy and Sally? The Young and the Restless, spoilers for September 8th, 2025, tease romance and betrayal in Genoa City. Daniel Romalotti Jr. risks friendship by admitting his true feelings to Tessa Porter, while Cain Ashby quietly prepares to unleash a devastating business move against Billy Abbott and Sally Spectre Daniel. And Tessa's guitar sessions will finally bear fruit as they create a beautiful new song. Tessa, proud of their work, believes Danny Romalotti will adore the finished piece. Yet Daniel insists she deserves the praise, not him, and takes things further. As Daniel looks at Tessa, he'll call both the song and her beautiful, leaving her stunned. His words move beyond friendship, sparking questions about his true desires. Daniel knows he risks everything if she doesn't feel the same way, but he senses opportunity. For Tessa, Daniel's confession complicates an already fragile marriage with Mariah Copeland. She has been fighting doubts about whether her relationship can be repaired. Though part of her wants reconciliation, another part wonders if it is already broken beyond saving. Daniel's attention offers comfort she hasn't felt in months. The warm moment may bring them dangerously close to a kiss. If Tessa listens to the voice telling her to move on, temptation may finally win. This could mark a turning point in her love life. While Daniel and Tessa navigate complicated emotions, Cain Ashby plots in silence. Billy and Sally prepare for the Abbott Communications launch party, unaware that Cain is working on a plan that could upend everything they've built. His confidence grows as his scheme takes shape. Cain intends to strike when Billy and Sally least expect it. While the pair celebrate their progress, they will unknowingly enjoy the calm before the storm. Cain's plan could embarrass them publicly and potentially steal the company right from under their feet. Sally and Billy remain completely in the dark about Cain's intentions. For now, they are focused on making their launch party a success. However, the celebration may soon collapse into chaos if Cain reveals his surprise at the worst possible moment. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint Cain is ready to play dirty, with the potential to send guests fleeing in shock. This betrayal could leave Sally and Billy scrambling to hold on to their dream as Genoa City watches the drama explode. The Young and the Restless spoilers for September 8, 2025 promise heartbreak, temptation, and looming betrayal. Daniel's confession could pull Tessa into dangerous new territory, while Cain's scheming threatens Billy and Sally's plans. Stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for more explosive updates on Genoa City's twists. The Young and the Restless fans will soon see Abby on screen again. Abby was last spotted in France, but was barely seen during Cain's return chaos. It's no secret that Melissa Ordway was taken off contract last fall. As Soap Hub reported, the actress set the record straight on her Y&R status after fans were outraged she was now considered a recurring player. Ordway used social media the other day to reveal she's back on the Y&R set. Yes, Abby did make it back from France, and fans are about to see her in Genoa City. Taking to Instagram, Ordway shared 3 photos from her return, but they weren't all from the CBS set. The first picture hinted that Abby will be in scenes with Devon and Cain at Society. Whatever happened on screen didn't impact the off-screen fun. It was smiles all around for Flynn, James, and Ordway in the photo. The next picture was a selfie of Ordway with her fellow co-star Amelia Heinle. Rounding out the share was Ordway, who was off-set and out and about in Los Angeles before heading back home to Nashville. Cameron Grimes joined Ordway for her LA outing. Abby Newman, Abbott Winters and Friends, read the caption on Ordway's Instagram post. The actress also asked her fans, if you could be any character on Young and Restless CBS, who would you be? Comment below and let me know. Several fans answered the question, and the replies varied a lot. Abby, Sharon, Cain, Phyllis, Chelsea, Victor, and Tracy were the top answers. Thanks to Ordway, Y&R fans know Abby will be back in the mix soon. Based on when she was on set, Abby should be on screen in mid to late October. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Holden Novak and Audra Charles knew each other in LA and are keeping a secret. Considering the shade factor with these two, we don't doubt that what they're hiding is dirty. And that is something that Claire Newman is counting on. Claire despises Audra, and the feeling is mutual. Audra and Holden clearly have no love lost between them, and after a series of disappointments, Claire is ready to catfight, with Holden as her partner. Meow! Claire knows a con when she sees one, and she suspects that what Holden and Audra did was on the wrong side of the law. Holden has dropped enough hints that Claire believes the past can be used to blackmail her tormentor. Audra gave her beau Nate Hastings a sanitized version of her past with Holden, but she is a consummate liar. According to her, Holden saved her from a sleaze. We have to ask, how so? Through words or actions? Did Holden kill someone to protect Audra? Holden was enchanted with Audra and tried to reconnect back in GC, but she shut him down, which he didn't appreciate. Thus, he also has a bone to pick with her ex. Were Holden and Audra partners in crime? Claire insists that Holden tell her everything, and fans will remember that Audra hinted about Holden living on the edge. That could mean anything. We know virtually nothing about Holden, so theoretically, he is capable of anything. She also said he scared her, and Audra doesn't scare easily. She's the one who does most of the scaring. Did Audra and Holden have to flee LA because they committed a murder? We have a suspicion that Claire will discover what heinous thing the couple did, and then use it to stick it to her foe. Now it's your turn, the Young and the Restless fans. Tell us your theories about what Holden and Audra are hiding. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire Grace Newman wants to know about Holden Novak's past with Audra Charles. What exactly happened all those years ago back in Los Angeles? The young man hinted it was illegal, so could they have covered up a murder? Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. What we know is that when Holden came to Genoa City, it was clear there was a connection between him and Audra. At one point, Audra had to explain her history with Holden to Nate Hastings. The brunette claimed that she was doing work for Tucker McCall and ended up facing some tough thugs alone. Somehow, Holden saved her. There seemed to be a lot of holes missing in that story. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire and Holden have become friends. The young man has a romantic interest in the blonde, but their dynamic for now is just platonic. Still, Audra couldn't resist the temptation to harass Holden and Claire. Claire is really curious about what went down with Audra and Holden in LA all those years ago. The man didn't seem willing to talk about it and was vague. Then, he mentioned being worried that the truth would change the way Claire feels about him. So, could Holden and Audra have murdered someone? It might have been in self-defense, but covering it up is still a crime. After all, people evolve and change over the years. However, a murder is something totally different, especially if it was covered up. Holden doesn't seem willing to tell Claire all the details. However, Claire could get curious and dig into it further. The blonde might even use Newman resources to do it. If she figures out the truth about Holden and Audra's past, then what does that mean for Claire? If Claire continues having nasty confrontations with Audra, things could turn deadly. While Audra threw Claire poisoning the Newman family against her, maybe there's a killer secret in the brunette's past too. Would Claire really be scared off by Holden's past? Or could she use it to get Audra out of town for good? The Young and the Restless spoilers imply the casting news on the CBS soap is far from slowing down, as EW is reporting that General Hospital alum Matt Cohen is set to join the show very soon. Details below. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that an air date and role have been announced, as Cohen will play Detective Burrows, a character who will investigate a major case that will involve some of GC's most prominent residents. He's set to debut on the show during the October 16th episode. What crime will go down, and is it possible that another whodunit storyline is on the horizon? As per reports, Cohen began filming with the soap last week. He's the latest in a slew of new cast members that have been announced in the past 2 weeks. Fans learned that soap vet Tamara Braun is headed to the Y&R come September, playing Sienna Bacall, and she'll have links to others on the canvas. Then, days later, it was announced that another Daytime Emmy winner, Roger Howarth, would be joining the soap, too. However, the character he's set to play has been kept under wraps. News hit earlier this week that Lucas Adams, former Trip Johnson on Days of Our Lives, has been recast in the role of Noah Newman. Matt was last seen in the land of daytime drama when he played Dr. Griffin Monroe on GH, a run that lasted from 2016 to 2019. He's also appeared on CW's Supernatural and has acted as an Entertainment Tonight correspondent since 2019. Genoa City could use a new detective in town, especially since Chance Chancellor passed away while in Nice at Cain Ashby's summer home. Are you excited about Matt Cohen's return to soaps? How do you think he'll fare in the role? Share your thoughts. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that the CBS soap continues to shock fans with casting news, as General Hospital alum Matt Cohen will be joining the show in October. Cohen is slated to play Detective Burrows, a cop who will investigate a massive case in Genoa City, which will affect many prominent members of the community. Cohen will debut on the Y&R on Thursday, October 16th. What exactly will go down, and what kind of crime will be committed? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Reports indicate that Cohen started shooting scenes for the daytime drama last week. He's the latest in a flurry of casting news coming from the Y&R, and things kicked off early last week when Y&R viewers learned that Daytime Emmy winner Tamara Braun is slated to debut on the soap in September. Braun will play Sienna Bacall, a character with a connection to many others on the canvas. Days later, news dropped that fellow soap veteran Roger Howarth would also be joining the soap too. Still, unlike Braun's role, the CBS soap is remaining hush-hush about Howarth's character. Then, this week, it was announced that Days of Our Lives alum Lucas Adams will be playing the Noah Newman recast. Back to Cohen. His entry into GC marks the first time he'll be back on soaps since playing GH's Dr. Griffin Monroe from 2016 to 2019. Fans may also recognize Cohen from his stint as an Entertainment Tonight correspondent, something he's dabbled in since leaving GH in 2019. As fans know, the little town could use a boost in police presence on the show, as Paul Williams has long left the canvas, and Chance Chancellor recently met his demise when he was shot in Nice during Cain Ashby's party at his summer home. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that all this casting news is sure to shake up the canvas. However, will Cohen's new detective character be placed in Claire Newman's orbit? After all, Monroe and Aaron's GH character, Kiki Jerome, shared plenty of sparks in Port Charles. Could they recreate some of that magic in Genoa City?